Yo, what's up, y'all? Coming to you live on YouTube, the Profowon channel. We have the trades. We have an excellent show. We're gonna go on, start the show in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Till then, we're just getting warmed up. We're coming to you live on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to join the conversation, you have to go on YouTube for that. We have a great show. If you are watching, let us know where you are watching from. Again, we're coming to you live from Instagram and YouTube. Very special topic that we really need to talk about, and I'm here for it. If anyone has any questions for the panel, let us know. Definitely going to be educational. Let a friend know the trades. Monday, 7:30 West Coast. South, 8:30. And East Coast, 10 p.m., 10:30. We're going to start the show in 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And then we're going to go live. Tell a friend the trades. Washington, D.C. in the house. All right, let's start this countdown.
This video has been brought to you by Breakin. Go to the website and register. Check out what they have to offer at breakconnect.com.
Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rock and Pro for one of the Floor Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe, and you're watching The Trades, the show about breaking, hip hop, and the business of. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I've been here on YouTube. I've been on IG a lot, just kind of like talking my ish, being mad at everyone, doing old man rants over there. But for today, what I felt like was important that I went on YouTube. Now, just to let everyone know that the last time I was on YouTube, we had the Avengers of the Breaking podcast. So we had Dom Key, we had Tony from Cypher Beast TV, we had Friction from Break Street Media, and of course we had Rick Derula from AERB Boy B Girl podcast, and everyone got mad at him. Why? I have no idea. He had an opinion. Just to let you guys know before I continue on. Remember, I pick the people that I pick for the show because it's not that it's important that they just know how to break really good. My thing about having people on the show is that they could be in front of the camera and talk good. I feel like that's very important. So, and Rick, and I'm going to be here defending him a little bit. Rick has been in the New Jersey scene for a very long time, and he does help the scene out as far as, throwing events, helping with educating about breaking. Even though his podcast, he says some wild stuff, and that's why I like about him. He says some wild stuff, but hey, he brings up conversation, and he's engaging, so that's why I had him on. And he's been doing his podcast for a very long time. I think a lot of people got upset because he did the DJ Vlad thing. He was behind the camera instead of front of the camera. So when we had the Avengers uh Breaking podcast, that's the first time I think anyone saw his face, but they heard his voice before. I'm sure of it. So again, if you want to keep getting mad and watch that footage, it's right here on the Profowon channel. And you could go to the Donkey channel; it's on there too. So that's the last time I went on YouTube as far as a live. No man. Again, this is a little bit later than I usually do my show. Well, but I had to adjust, and I wanted these guests on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure that they're like they're seen and talked about, and the thing about what's better as far as like holding it a space in online is YouTube is better than Instagram. Not everyone goes to Instagram and listen to a 2 hour podcast, but on YouTube you can. In the future, I am going to upload uh a lot of these to Spotify. I do have a Spotify channel, and what I noticed when I was looking at when I was making the show and I was just putting on my playlist on YouTube, we're already at 100 episodes. That's crazy. Like, I didn't realize I did this that long. I just keep, I just have an idea and then I, plan it out and then I execute. So to look back and there's actually 100 episodes is like kind of crazy. And there's a bunch of information out there that I'm going to start hopefully making it into shorter form. Like, I'll be making these 2 hour lives into like 10-minute segments. That way that's more digestible. Plus you can find it on the YouTube page because on the lives you don't necessarily see it. So I want to definitely I'm basically biting off of Domkey because this is what he does. I will be doing it, implementing it soon as well. So thanks to everyone that's supporting. I have only one thing to say before we go on is that this is the only thing I'm going to clean house on is 89% of you are not subscribed. You like to lurk, you like to watch the channel, you like to talk smack in the comments, but yet you haven't subscribed. Please subscribe. It's free. You can help the channel and help the channel grow in a lot of ways. For instance, maybe a dream of mine would be to like take this on the road, take the trades on the road, actually travel through this, and that way I can help monetize these journeys or and interviews. And again, who benefits? You guys benefit. You know what I'm saying? So please, if you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe, click the bell for notifications to make sure that you guys are aware of the content I come out with. All right, that being said, okay. So, um not too long ago, the last person I had that we talked about mental health online was Dino. I had Dino on a few months ago, and he was talking about how he basically was in therapy, and he was doing, I think, at Retroflow. What he did was he set up a table or a survey to seeing how much breaking has helped mental health and if anybody's engaged in it. And last time when I talked to him that time, that was in the back of my head. I was like, and that made me think about 2 years ago, the last time I interviewed Zeshin. I was like, well, Zeshin's a psychiatrist, so he was talking about like like certain terms like sublimation. And I was just listening to it again recently just to catch up. And the show is like really good. And I'll put, I'll promote that show from 2 years ago with J Soul Gearheads. And I just want to kind of like touch upon the subject. And of course, Heat Rock. I haven't had him on the show yet, so this is the first time I had Heat Rock on. But he's making these amazing videos that has a subtext about mental health and breaking. And of course, that's what we are. We're all b boys and b girls. So, and I've said this on my Instagram live is that the as far as like all the hip hop elements, we don't necessarily talk. This element of dance is done with our bodies, so we're expressing ourselves through movement, but we're not necessarily being vocal about a lot of the stuff that we're going through. And as I said before, many times again, breaking is therapeutic, but it doesn't replace therapy. So without further ado, my first guest I'm going to introduce all the way from Texas, representing Havoc Coral. We got my man Zeshin. How you doing, Zesh?
Hi.
Hello.
Hold on, let me do it again. Yo, it's your boy Zesh. Have a coral, Houston, Texas.
He put his YouTube voice on. He did his YouTube thing.
I'm
Yo,
good,
and
man. Thanks for having
yeah,
me.
yeah, dude, man, it's been a while, man. We had a really good episode with J Soul,
Yeah, I
so I
remember
was
that.
just like, yeah. So, like I said, when I was, I think, when I was with Dino, the last time I did the show on Dino on YouTube, it made me think of like, yo, when's the last time I talked to Zeshin? You know what I'm saying? And yo, it's been a while, so this is the time to
Yeah.
do it. All right, so up next, let's see, is our other guest? Okay, he's not on yet, but hailing from New York, Brooklyn, New York, we got my man representing Del Fuego. We got Heat Rock. What up, Heat? How
What's
you
going on?
doing?
Good,
Oh,
good.
you got the nice effects in the background of the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, dope. So before we get started, man, like I just wanted to thank you for being on the show, and like this is your first time on too, man. That's crazy.
What? No, like this is 1.5.
What?
You
How you say a half?
it was a short one, so it was
Oh no, you're
massive monkey,
right.
massive
You're
monkey.
right.
Yep,
My bad. Yeah, you were
yeah.
on there when you
one
won,
and a
right? That's
half.
when you, yeah, 1.5. There you go. But it was like short. It was like a short thing. It was like
Yeah,
I was like doing mad interviews. Holy crap.
yeah.
And finally, representing Cypher State, San Diego, California, we got my man, Dino Rock. Boom, boom, bah, 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 bah. All right, cool. You made it.
Everyone.
Right on time. Right on time. Right
Yo.
How you feeling?
on time. Before we get started, too, I just want to say that, you know, that we all touched upon mental health online. I think, I mean, there might be other b boys or b girls who have touched upon it as far as like maybe on text on Twitter or on Facebook. But I don't know if there's been so much of like being vocal about it and speaking in front of the camera, being open about it. I don't know if I'm sure there has. Like it's a big world, so I'm sure there has. But again, when I was putting together this show, I started realizing is that we all won this ring right here. We all won this ring right here. That's the trippy part. We all won Massive Monkey's footwork battle at one point in the last 20 years. And the thing I always say is like Is that a coincidence? And I say, no, it's not. Footwork people tend to be a little bit more thoughtful, in my opinion. I mean, that's just anecdotal, but in my opinion, we're maybe too much in our heads. If anything, we're too much in our heads. We think about it a lot. So I just wanted to bring that up just to do a little flex and stuff like that. So man, this is dope, dude. I mean, if anything, if anyone's bored out there, we're not just talking about mental health. We're footwork winners. Like, so okay. So first of all, let's go kind of like, if you guys are open to like going a little background. I'm gonna start with Zeshin because the thing is, if you guys don't know, not just a dope dancer, but you are actually a psychiatrist, meaning that you just don't do therapy, but you went into med school and you can actually do, like, what I mean, like, for instance, like you could prescribe medication or whatever, whatnot
Mhm.
for certain things. So let's hear about that. Let's hear about your journey as far as like mental health and studying it.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, like you said, I am a psychiatrist by profession, so I am a professional mental health provider, I guess you could say, board certified, and that's what I do, man. That's what I did today. Went to work today, saw patients, So, yeah, what do you want to know? I guess you want to know like
Just, like how's it impacted your
anything
life? Not not
specific
not
or
not specific, like how's it impact your life as far as like perspective and maybe, I don't know, more mindfulness and like your approach to like dancing or life period.
I mean, it's just like really, I mean, it comes down to just knowing yourself and your brain a little bit more, like through training, and of course treating people. Going through therapy myself too. I did that multiple times actually, even throughout my training, and then, well, maybe not while I was in training, but shortly after, and then now. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just like knowing how your brain operates, kind of. It's like you have a brain and it does stuff, and you have to know how it works so you can then make choices to kind of have a little bit more control over stuff. There's things you have control over in your brain and things you don't have control over. Stuff like that. So it just helps me to be more. The word is mindful, and all that means is you're just aware. Like you can actually think about your own thoughts and feelings, and try to understand where they come from instead of just having them like take the driver's seat.
Right.
So that's just an example of, I guess, more practically, having some
Right.
knowledge about that. And it's not anything even like you have to go to like school for. This is stuff that we talk about and we teach anybody that's interested in just mental wellness and that stuff. But yeah, it's helped me, be very introspective, kind of understand, you know, where I am in various stages of my both my career in life and also in dance, um, and I utilize it, man. I utilize that kind of thinking a lot to just help me feel good about what I'm
Right.
doing, you know. So
Dope. All right. That was Zeshin. All right. Let's go to, I think Dino's still driving. So let's go to Heat Rock. Heat Rock, what was how did you come into interest about mental health?
um, so growing up there, my aunt was a doctor, so um, we weren't my family, we weren't strangers to the medical world.
Okay.
So,
Dope.
therapy wasn't something that was taboo, and like, therapy is very taboo in a lot of people of colors families. It's really tough for people to go see a therapist. So it just wasn't something that was like hard to do for me. But I actually I got into I finally went to go like I had to go get myself checked because I felt stagnant. I don't know if that makes any sense. I felt like I was living life, but it just felt very it felt like it wasn't climbing or declining. It was just
Hmm.
there. And so I said something's wrong. I said I've got all these things that I do that I love to do that I'm good at or whatnot, but I just feel like something's up, like something's not right. So first place to always check is to check yourself first. And something actually ended up expediting it like crazy because it was during the pandemic, and a lot of
Oh
people,
shoot. Right.
yeah, a lot of people were losing their minds, and I was trying my best to stay sane, and someone ended up stalking me.
Holy
Um,
crap. What?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
they lost their mind, and it became a whole big thing, and then smear campaigns and stuff. So I it just made me go, why is this happening? Not in a like, why is this happening? Not in that type of
Right.
way. More like, I was like, why is this happening? Like, what is this? Like,
Right.
what's going on right now? So then I was like, all right. So I start seeing a therapist, trying to figure out like what Session is saying. I'm trying to figure out how my brain works and why I'm feeling the things that I'm feeling and why my life is the way that it is and why is this type of person doing this to me? Why is this person in my life like this, right? And this is the first time I've had a stalker, and I'm not talking about your basic, oh my god, they're stalking me online, whatever, and like 2 weeks go by, you never again. This was full on
Whoa.
harassment, um, you know, drive by
Whoa.
your house, contacting your friends and family and your job type stuff.
Whoa.
Mm.
Constantly hitting me up through whatever means they could hit me up through social media, text, email, whatever. Um, and that was going on for years, man. And I just was like, what the hell is going on? And then it made me think about a lot of the people I've come in contact with in my life,
Right.
and the things that I experienced, people that were supposed to be like my friend but turned out to be my enemy.
Whoa.
Uh, People that were like using me or just being friends with me because I was Heat Rock, not because they were particularly like this is a good guy. They were just
Right.
like I'm hanging around you because you're Heat Rock and I want what you have. So I want
Yikes.
yeah, I want your girl, I want your legacy, I want your style, I want and so I started getting into that, and I thought about a lot of the encounters that I was having on my way up, and then I thought about my core identity, who I my deep down inside, like what's my core identity, and how that has shifted and changed over the years because of the environment that I was in and all of the protection mechanisms that you create as a dancer. Because and I think a lot of these kids, and other adults, they are like, oh my god, it's pro, oh my god, it's Dino, oh my god, it's Zeshin, and they think our lives are so amazing, and they think that everything's going very well, and they don't realize like there's a toll to fame, or there's a toll to your to the recognition that you're getting. And it reminds me of Tupac. And so everybody, most people know Tupac when he was talking about thug life. That's when most people know him, but they don't know about his radical work that he did prior to that, and where he's actually from. He's from New York.
Hmm.
And then this whole thug life thing comes in. You think about, I thought about like when his life changed, and they say his life changed when he did the movie Juice. Because of the character he played, people thought he was really like that, so they started pressing him on the streets, and so it he had to create a protection mechanism, and so now he becomes this character that was a fictional character. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I kind of got into it, and I just watched a lot of the people I was coming up with that had potential to become great. I just watched them all fall off, and I
Mm.
watched them lose their minds or
Mm.
go from something to nothing, and it was just simple. They needed therapy, and they needed to go check themselves, and they didn't want to, or they just that was never an option to them. So that's how I got into it, because
Crazy.
I didn't want to suffer that fate.
Yeah, I hear it. Dino, you there?
Yeah.
Yep. So
Am I?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So how did you? We kind of touched upon it. How did you get interested in it, in mental health?
Uh, yeah. No, I guess I could. I guess the arc would probably start about 15 years ago, where my brother um my brother had a certain situation happen during boot camp military, um and um he was going through he was going through something, and they ended up I'm trying not to disclose too much
Yeah,
information,
yeah, it's
but
all good. It's all good. Yeah.
in terms, but they ended up pulling him into an institution, and there wasn't a whole lot of communication, obviously, because I guess when you sign your papers and stuff like that, like um they're not really entitled to have us like have as much communication. So yeah, there was like about a full year, probably a year and a half, where my family and I like weren't able to communicate with my brother. Um, and like just like during that time, I was in college, so I'd majored in sociology at the time. But that whole time, like not being with my brother, not being able to talk to my brother, like I look up to him a lot. So um, during that time when he was in the ward, like it drove me into like insane like library mode. Like I would just like delve into like reading everything from like Carl Jung to like Freud to like all those classic stuff. Because for some reason a lot of it, I guess a lot of it like affirmed a lot of things that I was thinking. Like, dang, like what's happened to my brother? I guess at that time. So that's kind of what the art came in of, just like being curious about mental health and just well being. And even till now, like my family, it's kind of it's we're starting to be able to like talk more about it. Like, traditionally, like a lot of there's like this stigma with like Filipinos, like we don't bring that to the table. We don't talk about our like our issues. Our mental health is kind of like something that's not even on a it's not something you have a conversation with. But like I think that kind of sparked it kind of like it sparked like a pathway to start talking about it. Um and like about it resurfaced again for me. So when like post pandemic, I definitely like was going through a lot, so I decided to check in. um yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disclose too much, but I
Yeah,
think
that's
that
cool. Yeah.
I was I guess I could be transparent about it. Like I was really questioning life. It was I was going through like weird places of like, I guess I built my life to be like, I built my life to around this around this life, right? This break life, whatever. So like when the pandemic happened and I ended up having to shift like full time like deliveries, like
Right, right.
I would get into my head a lot, and then I started like having these thoughts. So I was like, yeah, I'm not okay. I gotta get checked in. So that was about like 4 years ago.
Word. Dope,
Yeah.
man. So it's something I don't really talk about is like my personal life too much online because I'm always online. But I'm willing to be open a little bit because of the context of this episode. So I got into mental health. Like I was studying a lot of spiritualities type of stuff. Um, and just like the hip hop story, right? Like the father wasn't there, mom was raising us, that type of stuff. Um, but for instance, like my father, he was schizophrenic. You know what I'm saying? So he was like checked out. Again, a military guy. Fresh from Philippines. I'm gonna like join the army and hopefully get benefits from it. Blah 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 blah. Through boot camp, it messed with him, right? Messed with him. Went totally to schizophrenia. And so I grew up with that. Like I grew up with seeing in a Filipino family that's in the 70s. That's kind of odd, right? Like you kind of get looked down upon in that because that divorce didn't really exist like that back then, right? Like not like now, right? So from that time, you would try to like figure out things like why is this happening. You want questions answered, and I think I started to delve in with like just spiritual stuff, like and then I got into like the Carl Jung stuff, which led to like other things and my interest in it. And like, finally, like around 2019, I just was like, let me give it a try. Saw a therapist and it was okay. Recently I saw a therapist too. Trying to look for a new one, but I always push it. Like, Dino, I always say it's like, breaking is therapeutic, but it doesn't replace therapy. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the thing. Like and like I was listening to that Zeshin our episode before, and you talked about sublimation, right? Like that's the thing. With can you tell the audience what sublimation is again? Am I saying it right?
Yeah. I think we were just talking about different concepts. So
Mhm.
it's a psychological concept. Essentially, it's a defense mechanism. It's a form of defense mechanism, and a defense mechanism is essentially something. These are all theories, by the way. Because
Okay.
nobody can really read what somebody's head is, right? But people, some smart people came up with a lot of theories, and so defense mechanisms are ways that your brain has learned to deal with negative emotions. Okay. And these could be mature to immature. Okay. Um, Immature defense mechanisms, for example, big one is just denial, right? You're coping with that negative feeling at that moment by just pretending it didn't happen, right? So that can only work for a certain amount of time. But then later on, it can become disadvantage to you, or you even kind of lose touch with reality in some ways if you rely on that. So different mechanisms become essentially tools, and these are things that you can learn over time too. Um, and the idea is as you grow, you learn to reach for like mature tools, right, to cope with things. So sublimation is essentially considered a mature coping mechanism or defense mechanism where you are channeling that negative feeling into something productive, usually through a creative form. So it could be like writing, it could be art, it could be physical, it could be, you know, um, just anything, right? It could be building something, sculpture, something like that, and it kind of represents, like it has the meaning of those feelings that you have, but you're able to cope with those negative feelings by making something productive and safe out of it. So that's essentially what that means.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, isn't that what breaking is? And what all in all, what do y'all think? Has it helped you as far as like whatever struggles and like negative emotions, as Session would say? Has that helped you guys? Like,
I mean, I think
Yeah,
he said it. You
hmm?
know, it only goes so far, though.
Hmm.
Right.
I think it helps. For a while, but I've seen the long term effects of overusing it to solve
Mm,
problems. And
Hmm.
we've all seen the long term effects of that. And when you're like, all right, this is obviously the dopamine that you're getting from it is obviously not doing you any good anymore. You know.
Yeah, you gotta use breaking as you gotta see it as therapy too. Like you gotta approach it as therapy if you want to get, in my opinion, like therapy from it. Because some people don't approach it like therapy either. Like,
yeah. Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
well, like for example, like I've been recently, breaking to me is more something I do kind of for my own, you know, just yeah, my own mental space. I see it as therapeutic. I'm meditative when I break. I focus on the feeling itself, right? And that's worked out for me. Like, y'all know me, I don't even show up anywhere no more because I'm happy. I like to dance at home. I was
I
telling
see
you
your
about,
living
yeah, I just
room,
like to
bro.
dance at home. You know, I don't care about going around and trying to show up whoever. I can, but but I'm not gonna.
No,
You
didn't you
know,
enter like skills talk last year? Didn't you enter? Didn't you enter a competition last year? You entered a big event.
yeah. I did one the whole year, right? So
Well, see, that's how I remember it. Like, yo, you
yeah,
stood up, bro.
yeah. So you can see it as that, or you can see it as another stressor, like another way to compare yourself to other people, another way to like feed your ego, another way to then destroy your ego in the process, and or put others down to feed your own ego. I mean, it can be like I think he said, like, it can be an addicting thing. Like props can be addicting, you
Mm,
know, like
mm,
and it's so for me, if you view a certain way, it's so liberating to be like, I had enough props. Like you gotta give the props from yourself. That's
Right.
ultimately where it has to come from. Otherwise, external validation only goes so far. So that's what I mean by like it's up to how you approach it too.
Right.
So
From your observation, like, how do you feel like? What's like if you had to do a consensus? I know you can't be everywhere at once, like, right, and everywhere and all. Well, I'm messing it up, but from your perspective, how do you think there's an off balance of that? Do you think it's just like, do you see people more like on the like, I need to get the props versus like kind of this introspective like perspective?
um so and I'll just say a little bit because I'm sure I want to hear their opinions. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah. And
in
like this question for
Breakin',
y'all. Yeah, question for y'all.
because I feel like uh all of us, like where we've gotten in Breakin', we tend to see a population of b-boys that are already kind of high profile. And so when you're in
Hmm.
that stage, it's almost like a sport. I
Right.
hate saying it's a sport. I'm as purist as it gets in this shit. But like
Oof. Ooh.
but you're seeing people who are like almost in the athlete phase, or like
Mhm.
they're really serious about getting known and getting better and stuff like that. Um so I think all I'm seeing, especially because whatever social media is all just what people want you to see, I guess I see that a lot now. So to me, it seems like there is more people just in that phase of trying to, make their name, impress a lot of people, kind of get that validation. But it could just be that phase, like I was like that at some point too. I think anybody who not even breaking, but does anything at a serious level kind of goes through that a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, but I think it's when it gets like, everybody has their time. That goes with everything, right? And it's really not the beginning phases where you're young and you're coming up. To me, is like is at the ending phase. That's where that's a real test, you know, of how well you are up here, and how everything kind of, how you've integrated this whole art form and culture like in a healthy way or not. And yeah, that's where I may see some people that are like, okay, it's you're not aging gracefully, kind of.
Oof. Ooh. I can hear that a lot. Ooh.
Yeah, out of this
I can
culture.
hear that a lot today.
Hmm.
All right. Well, someone else jump in on that. How you feel about that? Like, as that just said.
Dino, we
Dano?
haven't heard from you though. Let's go, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So we're talking about So I'm hearing like, yeah, the like breaking no, I definitely like, especially because I'm working with like a lot of the kids, and it feels like, I feel like really like, how do I say it? It feels misleading to have them directed towards those external validation, where all these events are kind of set up for that. Where like, oh, here's some breaking, and here's some youth breaking, like kind of competitions to like feed into that. Where it's like that's bringing in a lot of new youth, a lot of new faces, a lot of a new generation. And I actually had like a talk with one of the parents, and they were like, you know what, like my kid loves breaking, but I don't know if they love the competition aspect of it. And it reminded me of like, well, that's actually how I got into it. Like when I was breaking with my friends, like we just loved like being silly and like breaking and having fun with it. It wasn't until later that we were like, oh, like let's see how far we can take it, and that's kind of when things started changing as a crew. So I kind of think about it where I think it's completely okay. Like I mean, this is like a message to like the younger generation. Like definitely, I don't know how much weight my words are words are gonna have, but like definitely, you don't have to break for competitive reasons. Like you can
Mm.
break for the love of just like the art of it, like for what it is. You know what I mean? Like having fun. I wish I could do that more, and I've been starting to do that more often, where it's like a lot more a lot less tense on needing to be the best all the time. You know what I mean? Because sometimes having fun and just learning to be present with music and just yeah, like that's like some that's like that could be like the best thing for a kid's day. You know what I mean? So
Right.
those are things I'm kind of thinking about.
Dope. Oh yeah. B-Rock.
Um, I think, well, I'm a little bit all over because of all of the different phases I've gone through
Hmm.
and all the different feelings. But one feeling I do miss, before all the external validation, was the being naive. I miss
Mm.
when I was naive.
Mm.
I miss when I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about hip hop culture. I didn't know any. I was a popper. I was coming out of Georgia. I could break a little bit. Let me not say I was a popper. I was just dancing, and I just did it because I liked it, and I thought it was cool, and I thought it was fun. And
Right.
then that kind of got changed the more I learned.
Okay.
And then as I because I was just having fun, I was actually quite successful as a popper in the beginning. I always made it past prelims. I was always runner up, or if not winner, or somewhere in the top four or whatever. And I took a lot of that as granted. And what Session said, it's the end game that counts. Like when you're on your way out, how's your mental state? And
Right.
um, I just saw so many people just get upset, and I couldn't figure out why, because I was so naive. I didn't understand why some of my friends were just getting really crazy as they got older, and just mad at the world and mad at the right. They were mad at the scene, and I couldn't figure it out because I was just like, "What are you so mad about?" Like I was having fun, I was just like, it's not that serious." And then I think one day, someone called me famous, and I said, "I'm not famous. I'm just me." And then, I actually stepped back, and I didn't even know my own value.
Mm.
Think that validation, there was a moment where I didn't even realize that I was actually seeking external validation. There was like a cloud over my head because I was in a flow. I was in a pattern. This is what I did. And then once that cloud, kind of that smoke, got cleared, I think that's when I kind of was like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? And this is what, you're right. This is what you see now. A lot of validation. There's a lot of nepotism that's going on in the scene. The politics have changed.
Mm. Okay.
It's
Mm-hmm.
becoming, it's becoming a show.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's becoming way more organized than ever before.
Ever? Yes, sir.
I think we're most of us are old enough to remember showing up on time, and the doors were supposed to open up at 2, and we see the DJ walking in at 4. I think I think we're all old enough to remember the gym.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were held in gyms.
Mm-hmm.
Those bright lights and that basketball floor of whatever high school allowed us to stay there long enough to have this event. And now nightclubs, huge stages, scaffolding is going up, lights, the stages are bigger than ever. They're huge now. And we I think this is people want that because it's like low level celebrity status.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, before it was if you were on a freestyle session tape or any type of popping tape VHS, that meant you were dope. And that was our social media then. And most of that stuff took about a year to be printed. So
Yep.
we could record, like if we record like this now, this session that we're recording,
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't see it for almost a year later.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then everybody's like, I'm gonna smoke Zeshin. I'm gonna train for these
Yeah.
moves that I see right now. I'm gonna
Right.
smoke Dino right now. I was like, yeah, you're training for moves that are about a year old now. So you're
Yeah.
already a year behind on this person. It's not like that anymore. This ghetto fame has gone to a whole other level. Um, you know, these kids are let down if they don't get what they're in. Their just hearts are broken very quickly. At least for us, it took almost 10 years before our hearts were just like, because we were just going to keep trying until it was like, okay, this is not working out. These kids are shut down day of.
Mm.
Um, eh, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, I was there. I was there
Yeah.
with the validation at one point, and now I'm like, I don't need this. Like, I don't need to be validated. I am who I am. I put
Right.
in the hard work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you're speaking of like that because like I'm done. Like I'm done. But I think this is the most fun.
Yeah.
I can enter like my whole thing is like I enter competition to lose. I'm like sometimes when I advance, I'm like, damn it, I didn't get my good round. Like I don't want this no more.
You don't got no
It,
moves left.
no, just the like for me, bro. Like okay, again, I keep saying this over and over. I'm turning 50 this year, so it's like, yeah, I'm turning
And
50 this year. So it's just like I'm happy if I'm like, yo, I did a good round. I'm out of here. Oh, I have to go out to dance more. Oh, damn it! Like I do that to like, and I laugh when I get to the finals. You know what I mean? Like I laugh. I'm like, all right, I'm here. What's left? Whatever. Because I'm having fun in the process of just finding out. Hey, I can't make it. I don't know. And so when I do good, I'm like, okay, I want to go eat now. And it's like, oh nope, you still gotta stay another hour before you go out again. Like, oh man, like I already had my fulfill of like my validation, right? From one round. Like if I did a really good round, I'm like, I'm satisfied,
Mm,
and then to keep going, it's just like I have to, and in competition, that's where the soul it does go away. It's like you're a machine, you have to perform. Like go dance, you know what I'm saying? I'll do it, but I'm already happy because, just the fact that I get to do it, right? Like right now, I have more fun at practice, working out, and then go, let me think of this. And then try it. Oh, I did it. Yeah, win. Like it's very like, you know what I mean? It's not even like no one has to be there necessarily. It's just I did it. I mean, if I filmed it, I'm like, I could watch it over and over again. Oh, yeah, I did it. Like, and that's
yeah.
about it, right? And to me, that's why I still do, because I do love that feeling of just completion of a movement. Like it's like I figure out this puzzle. You know what I mean? That's to me, that's super fun to me, right? It's like, it's like figuring out a Rubik's cube, but with your body. That's cool. Like to me, you know what I mean? Like no, like it doesn't matter if the next guy could do it faster or better. It's the fact that I figured it out. Like I figured it out. Whoa, yeah, And I don't know if kids feel like that right now. The next generations, or even like generations like close to you guys. Like I don't know if how many people love that feeling of just creation. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
so like what you're talking about, like, everyone has their purity of what they enjoy in breaking that has nothing to do with competition. I just
yeah,
explained what I like, right? Like what's fun to me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that was dope. I'm glad that, like, everyone got to share. Okay, so as far as, like our own feelings, now we're gonna talk a little bit more about the scene. Do you think that it's needed checking in mental health is needed in the breaking scene? Let me get you guys' opinions on that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's let me not say it's for everybody.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some that I mean, all three of us could probably point it to maybe one or two, but you can't tell them that.
Hmm.
No,
No.
you can't. I mean, you can't save them all, and
Yeah.
they have to come to that on their own
Hmm.
when they're ready to change, or if they see like, wait, how do they still have it together? And we came from the same place, and when
Mm.
they're ready, they're ready. But I I will talk to some people about it and just kind of drop a little seed. I do think that it's very important because especially now, I especially here in the States, I can't speak for other countries. In the States, I think therapy is definitely needed. The economy is slow, not even slowly. It's been on the decline for the last 20 something odd years. And we're in a state of hyper normalization where we're acting like everything is okay, but we all know that it's not okay. And you're going to see a lot of people slowly lose it. So I think it's something as dancers where again you're talking about it's therapeutic, but it's not therapy, and a lot of people have that mixed up. and they think they're just going to dance their way through these next 4 years. And I'm like, good luck with that. I recommend it to anyone and everyone in the scene to make sure if you're not going to go to a therapist once a week, at least go once a month, once every 2 months, just to kind of make sure your head is organized and that you're not, and you can reject medication. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people
Oh yeah.
think
Yeah.
that, and when I went into my therapist, the first thing, they start talking about it, and I said, that's not what I'm here for. And they will listen to you. And I think a lot of people are afraid to hear that they're crazy and that they need
Mhm.
medication, and that's
Mhm.
very fearful. So I do think that we need, I think it's strongly needed.
All right. Who next?
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Actually, I thought that was really well said because he touched upon a lot of the barriers that people have to getting mental health. A lot of it is some of it is cultural, some of it is stigmatization of mental illness and mental health. Um, and a lot of people just don't really understand, and maybe there's just lack of preparedness in this country, education about it. People don't understand really what therapy is like, or getting treatment for mental health or mental health is like, and so um yeah, like people thinking, you gotta be crazy to get therapy, right? Or you're gonna be looked at funny, or you're gonna get medications, or only crazy people need medications. Like,
Right.
it's so individual. It's almost like your life. It's another version of, to me, like your life work to understand yourself mentally. It could be a life's journey, right? And everybody's different. What works for some people don't work for others because we're all unique. Like mentally, genetically, and also our upbringing and childhood experiences, traumatic experiences, and stuff like that. Everybody's unique. Um, so people, what I wish people take away is like part of even looking into a professional, for example, is like it's just getting information, about what it is too. It's not even committing to anything. So definitely consider it. Therapy itself is also unique too, and like he said, not everybody needs medication, and that's my job. I prescribe medication. I'm licensed to do that. um, and there are times where I don't think I recommend, you don't need medication. And then some people are like, yeah, you need medication. But the the therapy is a unique space though, and it's not really a thing that most people get in your daily life, right? You're seeing a professional who is not a friend or a family member. They're confidential. You could say anything, and the space is dedicated to you. They're not going to talk about their problems. They're not going to judge you. Um, and it's a safe space. So that's unique already, right? Just to have that. And then somebody in the comments talking about the cost, and that is actually a good topic too. That's one of the barriers too, which is like therapy costs money, right? So I wish it was different, but it
Mhm.
can be an investment. There are places where you can get like sliding scale, or assisted,
Right. Yeah.
things like that. So you just got to look for it, man. You never know what you can
Yeah.
find. And,
I mean, they can even refer you to like groups like
right.
was the one it's like AA but it's for codependence. What is it? Anon, I think, right? That's the name of it. Yeah.
So Al-Anon is for,
Al-Anon. There you go.
yeah,
Al-Anon.
Al-Anon
Yeah.
is for people who have a loved one or family who has addiction issues.
Mm,
Then there's like AA and its offshoots, NA, Narcotics Anonymous. I mean, yeah, those are really great also because those are public.
right.
Um, you know, low. You don't have to pay or anything like that to
Right.
look for those in the community.
Especially, I
Um,
feel like there might be more access, especially if you're in a big metropolitan city. There might be access to kind of like the sliding scale you're talking about and
yeah,
stuff like that. And you know what, like, I'm definitely for, like, look into it. If it's about finances, you can still look for it. There's ways to find, I mean, there's people out there who help volunteer, whatever it is, because they want to help themselves, so, like, I would say just look into it. It doesn't hurt just to, like, look it online and see if there's anything offering in your area. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? What? Who else we got going on? What do we, we went on. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. It's funny because I think when we mention something, it's just like we start thinking like, huh, yeah, huh, and then, like, I get lost in, like, wait, what was it gonna, like, what was the transition again?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
was it Dino? Were you next?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like last year, I was working on this thing with my friend. Her name is Dr. Nelly Tran. She's the director of something called Community Based Block. So they're based out in a neighborhood called City Heights. So it's like that's where, like, how do I say it, like, it's pretty much a neighborhood that's central to, like, everything, and they provide a lot of free services. So the plan, which I'm hoping is still gonna be able to happen,
Okay,
is
yeah. Let's talk about that.
yeah, the plan is to, like, yeah, kind of bridge the access to it. Like, in that park we would have, like, seasonal jams and stuff, and across the street is pretty much the clinic. So there's kind of just like building that bridge, that this thing exists and it's for you guys and it's accessible. And I really love their perspective because they come from, like, a, like, yeah, as I should mention, like the cultural aspects of, like, mental health. Like, there's this whole thing that they approach as a sick society. Like, if the community is sick, obviously it's gonna birth, like, a lot of, like, sick individuals, or individuals that have struggles with mental health. And that's what's going on right now. It's pretty tough out here, especially, like, with I don't even know how I'm still, like, living in San Diego right now. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like, I I'm still trying to figure out, like, these next 5 years. Like, if this keeps going down, like, I don't know how things are gonna look. So I can't imagine how it's like for folks that have it really hard. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So we're trying to think of, like, how to build, like, arts programming, youth, and this through jams and stuff, and they want to get involved, but we just got to get these, grants. We just got these. We got to get that bridge to make it happen. We're starting small. The problem is that we're doing stuff anyway, but it doesn't pull the community that we'd like to reach out to because of I guess that lack of the bridge of being able to do it where we want to. So that it's just, there's, like, this whole thing we're trying to figure out by this year.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I know you were, like, working on a survey and stuff like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. As far
That's
as, like,
so that's
mental
their
health.
program, and I'm hoping that it actually kicks off within the next year or two. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Does anyone else? Yep. None. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like if any I'm gonna transition a little bit, but we're gonna go to the chat real quick. Let's go to my boy Rick the Ruler. This is a question for everyone. Rick from AERB World Podcast. breaking, excuse me, could breaking too seriously lead to mental breakdown? What do you guys think?
Dang.
Yeah.
It could
Dino's
lead to
like,
a lot of
yes.
different breakdowns.
He's like, yes. He's like, yes.
That's the go off right there.
Oh, word. You lose your mind, right? You lose your mind. You break it down. Mental breakdown.
I've
Meltdown.
definitely seen that. Like, I'm not gonna
Oh
say
shit.
who, but
Now, don't say who. Yeah, we don't have to mention any names.
I've seen people. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, mental breakdown is a very loose term. I mean, I've seen every condition in mental illness, but
Mm,
I've seen people who are definitely, it's like just being around them, you feel this bad energy, man. It's like you can't even really. There like moments where like these are people that I've known for years, and I remember a time when we were like dope, and it seemed like a normal dude, and then for a period of time they just seemed like you didn't want to you can't even really relate to them, because they're just
Mm.
so, distracted by what they're on, and it has to do with breaking. And to me, it's kind of sad, but yeah. And I've also, man, I used to work in the hospital. And so I saw pretty much the sickest of the sick, whatever,
Right.
those terms. And I would surprisingly, I ran into people from the scene there too, man. But that has a lot more to do, I think, with socioeconomic issues, stressors, trauma, genetic factors. A lot of that involves, um, one of the biggest risk factors is just like the poverty, and like living conditions that are in the neighborhoods, and poor neighborhoods and stuff like that, and young people in there, like um, people, despite having found something like hip hop or breaking, sometimes sadly can't get the help they need, especially with serious mental illness. And so that's one I wouldn't say it's unspoken, but it's definitely a huge factor. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know the trauma of being poor. Being from certain um, uh, just backgrounds growing up, household styles growing up, and things like that. Till this day, one of the biggest predictors of like long-term success is just like really not even for mental health, any medical issue. It's like how much resources you have, and that's a
Right.
really tough thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Crazy. That's just real.
sorry, I'm going
Like,
off.
sorry.
Uh,
Uh,
don't be. This is
Topic.
all great information, bro.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
Um.
would I
Go
wouldn't
ahead.
say break in too much. What I would just in my experience, I just what I would like to what I used to call some motherfuckers are just b-boyed the fuck out. There's some people are just b-girled the fuck out. It's like you're taking it too far, and you're stuck in it. And like Session was saying, there were some people same way. Came up with them.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
were, we were all late teens, early 20s together.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. We're on fire. You're on fire. And then something happens. There's one kid actually recently had a falling out. Um, just the language all the time, just constantly talking trash about everybody. But then when I step back and I look at their situation, living situation, marital status, whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I think you're just bitter because all of these things happened to you that didn't happen to everyone else, but those were the decisions you've made, and so now you've caused your own mental breakdown. I'm not saying you're a bad person
Right.
for things that you did, but there's a level where you have to step back and just look at your situation. It's going to be harder for you to be on a vicious victor level. You've got two kids. You can barely make your rent. You had dreams of becoming the best b-boy in the world, and it was interrupted by some diapers, bro.
Right.
And other things that can break down your mental health is your partner. Are you with the right partner? um, and we've all seen that too, where we're looking at a friend, you're gonna be the next one, bro, and then they got some shorty on the arm, and shorty won't let him come to practice, and then we're all like, bro, you're about to win everything, and yeah, but my girl, and then here we go, fast forward 10 years later, and they're mad at the world and they're mad at breaking, but we're like, yo, we told you to leave shorty. That wasn't a good partner. That wasn't the good partner for you. That partner took, you know. So I wouldn't I can't say it's too much
Hmm.
break. I think that can be something that it can burn you out, and
Hmm.
you can get some issues from breaking quote unquote too much. But I would say there's a lot more factors into it that make it look like you're breaking too much. You know.
Yeah, man. Daniel.
Are we still on the is breaking too taking breaking too seriously?
Yeah. Well,
No,
and then we'll move on. I just want to hear from you real quick.
I guess real short. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like over obsessing. Like, I guess the way I think about it is like, when someone can only talk about like their favorite football team all the time, like, oh yeah, football, like, yeah, like, and then you can't talk about anything else, like, it. I think of it as like you're self distracting from like being able to talk about anything that can help you, or
Right.
live a fuller life, type of thing. Because there
Yeah.
really is a lot in life, and I think I really like. I think when I think about the past 2 years, like it really has been like really great. You know what I mean? Like just being able to be like you can still break, but then you can still enjoy like I don't know, for example, apple pie or whatever. Like and be really present for that. You know what I
No
mean? Just
apple
present for like
pie.
short crap. You know? Yeah, and then I realized like yeah, like there's so much to life. There's so many things you can get into, and just what I learned about with breaking that you can apply it to everything is just being present. Like
Mm,
you know what I mean? Just being present with everything else. The same way we do
word.
with this dance.
Word. Yeah. Just real quick before we transition to the next thing is that yeah, seeing that the people that like that's what's trippy, right? Because a lot of us when we started pretty much like earliest middle school, high school, right? And I know for what I notice, the older I get, the guy that's, goofy, the goofy dude, yeah, he's hilarious, life of the party. As you get older, everyone kind of matures and that person stays the same. It's like, ooh, oh, oh, I thought we were all just being goofy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, they got something going on. Like, it's a trip to see that. Like, the older I get, like, the more and more I see it. It's a trip, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just like you think, oh yeah, he just did this at the event. Wow, hilarious! Like, and I would do something goofy or something, and then wait, you're still acting like that?
Mhm.
You're like 36. Like, what's going on? Like, acting like that? Like, uh, what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I always say like, what I love about breaking is that there's the child at heart.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
let that's the thing that makes you feel free. That connection to the music, whatever, it makes you feel free. That's you playing. But if you
Yeah.
don't but you don't want to be child up here though. That's the like, right? Like you don't want to
Yeah.
be child up here, right?
Yeah.
You still want to like, and even as I go on in my adult life, I'm learning things as like I neglected because of chasing whatever, right? Like, what I'm saying. So it's like now, but I don't mind so much because I do like challenges. So it's like, okay, well, I conquered this part of my life. Now let's see if I can conquer this part of my life, right? So that that's just me, right? Like I said, I like puzzles, right? Like I love Tetris, right? Like I love stuff like that. So it's kind of like, it's just like I could be like, oh, I regret like not doing this because all my other friends did it. But it's more like, no, this is a new challenge that it's going to give me more life, right? Instead of going the mad at the world thing, right? Like, well, my
Yeah.
shot, like the raging bull thing. Like I could have been a contender, like you know what I'm saying, like. What I mean? You still can,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in different ways. It just transforms, right? It's like, and that's the spice of life, right?
Mhm.
What if we
Yeah.
like? It's not good if we're always just winning everything. We have to be challenged, and then what's funny is that when life's challenged you and you have a healthy response to that challenge, your art changes itself, right?
Yeah.
Like it helps your art, right? Like, so I don't know, like I've never had that. Like I've always been the type of dude to kind of like let me find a different way in, and that was the fun part. Like now I like the challenge instead of being like I should have been the BC1.
Mm.
Now it's more like how do I create my own BC1 or something like that. Something within being creative, right? That's what we do. We're creative. So
Yeah.
before we transition, another from the comments is Arthur says, appreciate this talk as a therapist B-boy from Canada. Oh, we have another one. All right, there you go. We need to see more of this. Like, I would like to, like, leave, please hit me up in the DMs on Instagram. I would like to definitely talk to you because I think, I mean, that's a dream, right? Like, that, like, Zeshan, would you be open to, like, in private to talk to b-boys that have troubles and stuff like that, and like kind of help them out or whatever, whatnot?
Hell, no, I'm just playing. I mean, well, first of
That was
all,
great. That was great.
nah. First of all, there's legal limitations
Hmm.
that come with that, you know,
Okay.
because I can't give you know, I can't give what's considered like official medical advice legally
Okay.
unless I actually establish care and there's a
Okay.
process with that. But
Okay.
you know, I'm always down to educate about mental health treatment. I mean, I've seen it all. I've worked in all levels, from people needing hospitalization to outpatient care to groups. So anybody that has any questions about just what that's like, how to get help, what are the resources in your area, what medications are like,
Hmm.
what therapy is like, what the combination is like.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's stuff I'm always open to chat with anybody who's interested. I just can't like tell you exactly what you need to do
Right.
because there's a delicate process where I have to. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 sessions just to really know
Right.
all the
Yeah.
details, right, to
Yeah.
really kind of make that kind of decision. Um, but apart from that, I'm also I ain't trying to hear it. I ain't trying to hear it.
Screw y'all. Screw y'all. No, but no, I mean, that's good
I
to
do
say
that
that.
all day.
So I was trying to bring it to my living room. Try to pop here. Like,
Nah.
leave me alone.
And believe me, people will hit me up. I mean,
Really? I
yeah.
mean, yeah, okay. You know, what I mean, saying like that's dope. I mean, but I guess because it's such a rarity, and I mean, for me, it's like it's such a rarity to hear that. And I'm very like, I'm very much like, the scene. I'm with the scene, so it's like, oh, that's a win for us. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a win for us. That's us upping the level of like self care and awareness. Like we need that instead of just like, or the judges. Like
Mhm.
the first thing that anything is wrong, it's the judges. Like
Right.
let it go. Like let it go. Like let it go, buddy. All right. So just to lighten up the mood a little bit more, because we said some deep things, what we're gonna do is we're gonna react to Heat Rock's videos on mental health. And this is the hey, this is great. This is what this is one thing that everyone's on Instagram on their lives, but we can't watch no videos. But here, guess what? We can't watch videos. So I'm bring up some of these videos, and I love it. It's dope. We're gonna react, and we're gonna get opinions too. How about that? We're gonna get opinions as well. All right, let's start with this one. Boom.
I'm here to give you a public service announcement to remind you you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. So stop practicing those head spins and practice a better headspace, you big dummy. Hi, I'm Heat Rock. You may remember me from such films as Backspin, The Silent Killer, and I practice once a month, so why do I still suck? I'm here to give you a public service announcement to remind you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. So stop practicing those head spins and practice a better headspace.
All right, cool. Opinions, 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 opinions.
That was great. Oh
Bro,
man, I
what?
love it. Oh.
Opinions. Come on, guys. Actually, what you think?
Well, let me ask Heat, like what inspired you to
Yeah,
do that?
there you go. Yeah.
So there's a couple that I've done to the based on a true story ones that they'll say based on a true story. So um we were talking backstage before, and when I started going into therapy, um a lot of it came from the term, like what we were saying before, how people were using dance as therapy, like it's therapeutic, it's not therapy. So I was like, how do I say that? And then I thought about the Daily Show, which was a show about politics, and they were poking fun at politics, And I remember reading an article because the show was blowing up a lot during the time. This I read this article years ago, and they were asking like, why is this becoming more popular? And they were basically a way to bring awareness through comedy. So I kind of adopted that same idea, and I just was like, okay, I want to, poke fun at this because we've all done it, we've all seen it, and none of this stuff is directed towards everybody and not towards myself. Most of the stuff is a reflection of my own behavior and the things that I've experienced through my own life, and seeing
Mm,
like this is how you become the thing that you said you didn't want to become if you don't
mm,
if you don't nip this in the bud right now, so that's why I made this stuff. And I thought about like old Simpson episodes and old infomercials that I
mhm.
watched as a kid coming up, and those damn things were like cringy. Like we were all in middle school, elementary school, where it took two people to wheel in that big ass TV on the fucking wheels with the box, and it was strapped down so it doesn't tip over and kill a kid. And they pop in these tapes, and it was all these and how to ride a bicycle. Oh no, Charlie, what happened? Like that type of stuff. So I was like, let me bring that. I want to bring that stuff back. So that's how I got into it, and I just,
Nice.
yeah, man.
Shall we watch another? Anyone
Go
say
for
anything
it.
before we watch another one? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me get some more.
Actually, I was gonna go watch two. I was like, nah, we're gonna watch more. Actually, we gotta lighten the mood, baby. We gotta lighten
There's
the
the
mood.
one at the top of my profile that's pinned at the top. That was the one that went viral.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to that
yeah.
one, but we're gonna watch this one real quick. This other one. All right, let's watch this one right here. Boom and boom.
Hi, I'm Heat Rock. You may remember me from such films as 10 Easy Ways to Spot a Dance Cult, and you too can become a dance cult leader in just 10 easy steps. And yikes, I'm in a dance cult. How do I get out? In 10 easy steps. I'm here to remind you that just because you f***ing dance doesn't make you a part of the f***ing culture. Being a part of the culture requires much more than just dancing, so get involved with your community by lending a f***ing hand, educating and teaching others, and spreading positive mental health practices and not your own gossip, drama, attitudes, and ideologies. So these are some ways for you to get started to becoming more involved in your community. And remember, learn your fucking history. And if you don't know where to start, here's a fucking hint. Start with Africa.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, these are cool, man, because I think what it does is it reminds us like we gotta laugh at ourselves, man, sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
for
You
sure.
can't take this too serious, man. If you really think about it, it's like
Tell
what is,
that to the death threats I got on the
I
DM.
know, man. Like, what is up with that, man? We're a bunch of dudes
Oh
dancing
no,
sometimes in a circle, It's like,
nah. The
yeah.
one that last one you clicked on, the one next to it,
Mhm.
that you're gonna profile, the one that you were looking for earlier, because you were talking about the guy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
the,
okay.
the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that I put up, I actually made that one before the other one. I just didn't put it out. But that
Mm.
one kind of inspired that one because they're wild, dude. Like the death threats that I was getting, and like you get in your
Shit.
DMs from some of the stuff that I would make, because people, it was like literally I was just holding up a mirror to them and they didn't want to see their reflection. And I think that's what Zeshin was saying. We got to learn how to laugh at ourselves, and that's the thing. A lot of people cannot laugh at themselves at all. I remember putting something up, and they just started writing about how I needed to die and all this stuff. And I know,
Holy
yeah,
crap.
I know this b boy. I know this b boy, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is what happened to you, because I haven't seen or heard from you in years, and this is the first thing you say to me after 10, 15 years of not seeing you.
Wow.
So
Mm.
like, yeah. um
Let's watch
there's
that clip.
we'll go. Well, the clip that you're gonna click on, I could tell you the story behind that one, but go ahead and click on it.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, it's right there, huh? Based on a true
The one
story.
right,
Boom.
yeah, that one.
But I'm saying though, oh my bad, homie. Oh, good, homie. Heat Rock, right? Yeah. What's up?
What's going on?
What's your name? Arrested Development. Haha, cool name. Well, it's a good thing that our names aren't a real reflection of who we really are. Am I right? Did you see my round? No, sorry, man. But I'll keep an eye out.
On deck, Heat Rock versus Little Neck.
Oh, that's me, man. Gotta go. Yo, nice to meet you, bro. Stay safe out in these streets, bro. Same to you.
3 weeks later.
Just go back to the lab. That's all you really can do. You know what I'm saying? Hello?
Motherfucker, you think you're fucking funny?
Who is this?
Arrested Development, motherfucker.
How did you get
think you
my
can come
number?
to my city and try to play me with subliminal messages?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you playing stupid. We'll see how stupid you are when I break your sexy jaw.
Boss.
I don't know you like that or anything about you, but I think you're insincere. I see how you
Oh
move.
yeah, that really tracks.
Shut the fuck up, you sexy fake motherfucker.
Bro, we spoke for 2 minutes. I think you need to go and get some help.
Help! The police are gonna have to help come get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out. For the punk motherfuckers that's showing out, niggas want to start to mumble. They want to rumble. Mix them in, cook them in a pot like gumbo.
Holy shit!
Oh
Crap! Crap!
Law and Order, fucking.
Oh, that one. That's a good story.
That's the one, right? That's the one you're talking about, right?
The based on the true story ones and some of the other stuff, they're all based off of actual things that happened, and some stuff is from what people shared that happened to them. But that
Oh,
one
okay,
happened, that one happened to me.
That's
and
crazy.
It didn't go down exactly like that, but something similar to that, where I was at an event, met this dude, he starts chatting it up with me, and I swear to God, 2-minute chat, wasn't long at all. I said, "Have a good one, peace." And then I start getting these DMs about how he's gonna break my jaw, he's gonna fuck me up because I was giving him subliminal messages. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. I
Wow.
have no idea. Till this day, I don't even know what he's talking about. And
Wow.
then I just ignored him. I didn't say anything back. Then he tried to pull in his friends with it, but I knew those kids. And then
Oh
I was
shit!
like, but I know all these guys, and they didn't say anything. They didn't even, when they saw me in public, they were just like, "Hey, what's up?" They didn't even acknowledge what had happened because they were like, "We're not fucking around with that." And then,
Wow.
maybe about a year later, I show up to an event. He's there, says nothing. I looked him dead in the eyes, like I'm looking at him, like, "Are you gonna bust a move or what?" Not in a threatening way, not in a like. It's more in a like, "What's gonna go down" kind of way. And I'm just looking. He looks, and he just minds his business. It was just weird. Is I asked around about him because I didn't know much about him, and people start filling me in with a couple of stories and things like that, and I was like, okay, this is an ongoing thing then.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
this isn't like a targeted situation.
Right. This is behavior.
This is his behavior. So, and it was just kind of like a sad thing to kind of see, because I'm like, okay, this kid's struggling.
Mm,
Yeah, and it's he has to be in his 30s or so right
right.
now. And that was something that I would just experience, like, and that's not the first time I've experienced something like that. There was
Wow.
some like weird stuff, just
Really? That's
weird,
crazy.
making threats, coming up to me on the street, trying to start something, and I'm just like, all right, it's fight. You're gonna have to fight this out, because obviously this is not this person's not gonna walk away from this, and it's all like, and they do it all in the name of hip hop, in the name of breaking.
In the name of breaking.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's the biggest, that's the number one excuse that they use. It's all in the name
Wow.
of hip hop and in the name of breaking.
The B-boy guys are mad. I must do the sacrifice. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
crazy.
my God. I think that's what it is,
That's
really.
wild.
All right. Well, that was a good one. Here, I'm gonna play the one that everyone loves, though. This is the one that this is the one that like. This one's good. This one's good. All right, here we go.
Should be
Wait,
at
is
the
that the one?
top, the very top.
Yeah.
It's pinned.
Two, 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 two. Boom, boom. Okay. There you go.
We're B-boys. Yeah, we're jealous of your style, but we'll never admit that. So we're just gonna call you out. Cause we're B-boys. Yeah, I have poor social skills and a shitty attitude, but that's definitely not the reason my career went nowhere. Cause I'm a B-boy. I'm a shitty dancer, I'm robotic as fuck, but I'm a great competitor, and I just won Red Bull BC1. So this gratifies the fact that I'm a great dancer and I'm better than all of y'all. Cause I'm a B-boy. We're B-boys. Yeah, we bit that move, but we'll never admit that. Cause we're B-boys. Can you keep a secret? Neither can I. Cause we're B-boys. We argue about shit that don't matter. Cause we're B-boys. Yeah, I want Breakin to go to the Olympics. Cause it's my last chance to prove that I'm somebody. Cause we're B-boys. What are taxes? Even though we're not the same age, we've never met, we don't live in the same country, we've never seen each other before, I'm just gonna claim that you bit that move from me. Cause we're B-boys. Even though I'm absolutely delusional and I think I'm way better than what I really am, I'm still gonna blame it on the scene for not giving me my props. Cause I'm a B-boy.
Holy crap! I mean, yeah, that's basically what we're talking about, right? That's
Yeah.
basically what we're talking about. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm speechless.
I mean,
Dang.
I'm guilty of most of that. You know, most of the stuff that I
Really?
talk about, man, I'm guilty.
Hey, what happened was everybody's watching that, right? And every time you said something, the person watching just started feeling right? But then at the end, they're like, "Well, I'm gonna comment 3 fire emojis." So it seems like it's not me; it's other people.
Oh, trust me, I know. Oh, I knew. Oh, I knew.
Whoa!
Oh
Wow!
no, I knew. I knew. Trust me, I was
Wow!
fire. I was like, bro, we've had this freaking conversation. There was one, not one. There was a few DMs of like threats, like you think you're fucking funny, like random.
What the?
Yeah,
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 son.
yeah, bro. I was
Really?
like, what
Damn.
the fuck? I was actually talking to Poe
Crazy.
about this. I was like, bro, have you? And Poe was like, don't even pay attention, bro. Like, some people just they don't know how to laugh at themselves. I wasn't even talking about them.
Right.
Never seen some of these cats in my life.
Right.
Never seen them, but died a day. I'm like, I don't know you. I've never seen you on the dance floor, bro, ever. And they just came through, was wilding out, and I was just like, man, all of this over like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
These
Like,
are just jokes.
well, it's
Yeah.
some people can't. This actually happened one time. This was a kid that would come around and they were known for cracking on everyone. They started cracking. And I'm sure you've experienced this as a young kid, either with a sibling or with a complete stranger. They're
Mhm.
cracking on you, and you're just like, ah, man, whatever. You get that one crack in there, that one good crack. Like, oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
at least I'm not blah 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 blah, and
Mhm.
everybody starts laughing, or they'll go oh, and everybody, but then that person can't. This
Right.
just spent 20 minutes cracking on you.
Right.
Said one joke, and now
Right.
they want to fight you.
Right.
Mhm.
But the thing is like that one joke that you did was so intelligent and
Mhm.
so well, like it was like, it's not like, oh, look at his shoes. It's a character, it's like a character observation on
Right.
the spot. Like, oh, look at your feet, Heat. They look like da, 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 da. I was like, oh, just like that time you blah 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 blah, and then it's
It's
like,
like
bam, it's like, oh, hit me in the heart. So when I put that out, no, I put that out. I didn't think it was gonna go the way it went. I really
right.
did not. I put that clip out and I just left it. And all day long, my phone was just like, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I look, within the hour, I had already had like 500 likes.
Right.
I'd never
Yeah.
seen that. Never seen it
Dang.
on my own social media. Ever,
Yeah.
not once. The only
Yeah.
other time was the Massive Monkey footwork,
Mm.
and the Massive Monkey. The time you gave me that interview on the Massive Monkey, and I didn't even. Yeah, he's like, reminder, guys.
Right. Hey, just to let you know.
I gotta go find mine. Hey, but oh man,
But no, that's crazy. That's no, but I think because it touches like on some real shit. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what are taxes? Like, that's the standout. What are taxes?
No, man, bro. Just, oh man, I think on the subject of mental health, that's why I put it out there, man. I think I'm tired of watching a lot of my friends lose it.
Mm,
I think I'm tired of my friend circle getting smaller and smaller because they're not doing the work. And sometimes you
mm,
don't even gotta go to therapy if you can't afford it.
yeah,
Anybody can afford a book.
right.
There's a lot of self-help books that are out there, and my therapist recommended a few, and those things did wonders, man. You know, just reading those really, I think it gave me the strength to make these videos.
Mm.
You
What,
know,
what what book really inspires you right now, as far as that, or back then? Let's just say back then when you made that video.
there was the Four Agreements,
Mm,
which
okay.
is a very short read.
Yep. Yep.
And most hippies read it and stuff like that, but you don't got to be a hippie to read that.
Hippies.
No, I know
Yeah.
it's really on some like, oh, this is
Yeah.
transcending energy. You
Yeah.
don't got to
Oh,
be on
yeah.
that. You don't got to
Yeah.
be on that to
Yeah.
read this
No.
book.
No. You could be very
Yeah,
practical with it, right?
yeah,
Very practical. Yeah.
and depending on like your religious belief, it's easy to just read a book and replace
Mm.
spirit with God, or
Right. Right. Right.
replace God with universe. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
rule, and most of the language is all the same across the board anyway.
Right.
The one in another book is called Doing the Work.
Okay. Yeah.
I forget the author's name, but Dr. something. She breaks down your neural path, your chemical imbalance, and she talks about cortisone and what that does to your body, and
Mhm.
she talks about trauma and things about that. The only thing, and nobody has to agree with this, or if you oppose to it, this is only my personal opinion about the self-help situation. They are making a profit off of you. You kind of, I would say you kind of have to be careful, because you can go into a spiral of trying to fix yourself,
Right.
and just realizing that you just are. And some of these books, one that everybody reads is Attachment. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Attachments, like love it, attachment styles or some shit
It's
like
like your
that.
attachment styles, right?
Right. Right.
And so everybody and their mom has read that book, and unfortunately now they've subtracted themselves to just that.
Mm. Right. Right. Right.
That's what they are. I am this. And
Yeah.
then it becomes this thing where I'm
Right.
like, I think we're a lot more complex than that.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you have reduced yourself down to what a book has told you what you are.
Right.
And now I'm trying to date, and it's like, I've got this attachment style. Like, yeah, you don't have to be like that.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, those are the videos.
Dope.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What books are like, yeah, Four Agreements? That's a good one, man. I
Yeah.
really like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something I had to actually apply recently was the don't take anything personally, and it was
Mm.
like I had to remind myself that like that was probably the advice that probably was a game changer. And then like after forgetting about that part, and then like reminding myself like, oh yeah, like don't take anything personally, because like people are going through their own shit, and like it's just projecting at this point. So I might just be like a mirror maybe, but I gotta like remind myself so that I don't react all the time to certain things. Like and I think that's just kind of something I have to remind myself, to not always be reactive. Like I don't have to, not everything has to be like a trigger, you know what I mean? So like um yeah. And then I guess another book, I don't know, I think Profile, I think you posted this one point, but like Art of Peace, like have you familiar with that one?
Peaceful Warrior. The Peaceful Warrior. That one.
No, it's art of peace. It's like
Art of Peace. I don't know if I read that.
okay. It's like so simple. Like there's just mantras on each page, but an easy read, and it just kind of like it helps you digest like more like productive forms of thinking. So like things like I don't know, there's just so much to it, but it was like the just being able to read a page every night like really helped me like just the next day I would just kind of carry on the mantra for the day, and it kind of helps me a
Word.
lot. So Art of Peace, I recommend that one.
Dope. And Justin, I know this is what you do for a living. Is there anything that you like to read as far as like self-help or anything within that sphere?
Uh,
Because I live it. I deal
no,
with
I
it
was
every
just gonna
day.
say, like, if I'm gonna be real, not really. I don't usually recommend.
Oh, you don't?
Well, it's just more like I don't particularly suggest like books and like I don't have like a list of books. I'm really bad at kind of keeping track of the books and stuff because I personally didn't learn a lot of this through books. It was mostly through in practice and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
And also there's a different book for every different situation.
Hmm.
For example, like all of your examples are really great, but they also pertain to a certain thing, whether it's anxiety, whether it's kind of mood, whether it's interpersonal, whether it's anger management. I mean, you could find a book for everything in general. So I don't really have a great answer off the top of my head right now. Like I have to
Okay.
look through my list of books and see. It's been a while since I dug through them, so I would recommend you read Dune. It's a great story about a
Dude.
guy who gets powers and rescues a sand planet, and you'll probably enjoy it by Frank Herbert. So yeah.
What about the movie? I
Oh
like
no,
how we all.
I'm with Zesh. I'm with Zesh. Great fucking book. I'm with you. Yeah, I got a leather bound version.
Yeah, yeah.
Word. Oh, damn, like that. Holy
Oh
crap.
yeah, no, big sci-fi freak.
Word. Word. Like that's true because that's old school. That's like one of the oldest ones right out there right now, right?
Hmm.
Like when like Dune. Yeah. I mean, I saw the movies. I saw the '80s movies. I'm like,
Oh, the '80s movie is a trip too. Kid.
which thing? A book I would just like to just I was just personally like, I like Eckhart Tolle's New Earth. I like that. I like Eckhart Tolle. He has a lot of he wrote The Power of Now. Really, to me, really good. Just kind of like he uses. I mean, it's psychology, but he puts it in ways that are spiritual, which is like the pain body. It's just your reactive mind. If you could step back versus like what you said, Dino. It's just like there's this emotion that happens, and if you could like step back and observe it, and then you could react later versus like you're in it, right? Like that. It's a lot of that type of stuff, and I tend to enjoy it. That's why I like to. I tend to like step back a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not perfect, right? Like I'll still react, but at least I could like I'm practicing stuff like that. Like I or before we like I'll bring this just shot into my head. Like for instance, like I practice non-movement meditation every morning. I do like 15 minutes just to start my day. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything that you guys practice on the normal that help you out? Like breaking. That's just like
Well,
breaking.
I mean, currently, right now, I'm trying to starve my body of dopamine.
Oh, holy
Oh,
crap.
Yeah.
oh,
Um, Overuse of social media. Just trying to
yeah.
starve myself of that. Um, I'm trying to starve myself of anything that's like stimulating that's abnormal stimulation,
Mm,
right? Dancing is something that is normal and I can do for fun that's stimulating, right? So I'm trying to just keep that going. Going to the gym is normal, but
mhm,
not for example, coffee, right? Video gaming,
mhm,
um too much social media, other things that that if you indulge in too much more, like too much marijuana, alcohol,
mm,
these
mm.
things, sugar, you know
It's
s-
just-
uh, right now I'm practicing starving myself of dopamine because of what I've read recently of what it does and how it works. Basically, I agree with Zesh, and especially what he does. It's all about figuring out how your brain works and what happens when you do things. I think the first lesson that I got with that was from my aunt. I used to live with her when I lived in Boston,
mm,
and found out that marijuana can slow you. It slows you down, and she explained to me how it can slow you down and depress you. And so I just see a lot of friends with a lot of anxiety, but they smoke a lot. And, I'm like, one day you're going to have to face that anxiety head on. And I think, maybe laying off the marijuana might be a good idea. But, like, again, you can't save them all. And when
Right.
they're ready to change, they'll do that. But that's what I've been practicing recently. And I've been going to the gym a lot more than usual.
That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah. I don't think I do anything special, man. I think what Heat Rock said was really good too, especially about the substance use. There's so many things that are still unknown. I'm sure there's a lot of different opinions about that, right? But not everything that is out there, even if it's legal or being legalized, is absolutely benign, right? You got to be really careful about relying too much on any particular thing. Even prescription medications, man, there are some that are not really good to rely on, right? Like there's some are only meant to be given for a certain amount of time because they are masking or putting a band-aid on symptoms instead of addressing the root. And so just being healthy, diet, eating healthy. I'm trying to do that more.
I like how you said trying.
Trying, exactly.
Me too. I'm trying.
Just cooking more too, like knowing what I put in my food instead of getting it from, other places. Saves you
Yeah.
money. And the other thing is, again, I feel like for the most part, I don't have a lot of, luckily, like too many mental processes that I need to actively do a whole lot of, self stuff for, but just trying to be present, but by being present, meaning like take some time to really like do what is in front of you, whatever it is, like focus on your senses, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing in the moment. Instead of letting your mind be like elsewhere,
Right.
thinking about like tomorrow, the next day, or what's going to happen, or how many likes you're going to get, and who you have to battle at this gym, whatever, like just be present, man. Enjoy the present. Yeah. So, and just being, taking some time to be grateful. I think having gratitude is a good thing. So humor and gratitude and empathy. These are things that can help your mental health, right? When you feel down, when your self-esteem is low, right? So there's a few things. One is have a sense of humor, laugh at yourself, right? Something bad happens, like, well, you know, yeah, like right on, like
Right on.
I wish
Right
for
on.
me, right? Like sometimes you just gotta accept it,
Yeah,
right? You gotta
yeah,
laugh at
yeah.
yourself, right? Like, like pretend like, like in TV, like sometimes they break the fourth wall, they look at the camera and they're like, like, can you believe that happened? I gotta do that sometimes. Like nobody's there, but I'm like,
Then I
look,
feel like that
look,
guy needs help.
it's like a sitcom,
Right. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, word.
Um, and the other thing is have some gratitude, be thankful for the things you do have. Uh, you skip out on a lot of chances to give yourself some credit and also think about the good things when bad things happen, because our brains tend to focus just on that, right? Sometimes you forget everything you've ever accomplished because you're trying to put yourself down for some reason, right?
Yeah.
I
That's a
realize
big
it's
one.
not true. You get imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, yeah, you're, whatever. You didn't get like props from somebody, but that doesn't take away from what about, like people forget that like last week they may have done something really amazing, or like, you still did good,
Yeah.
And the other thing is, what did I say? Empathy, right? So like, is to understand that not only empathy for others, but empathy for yourself, right? You have to realize that other people are dealing with stuff too, and in fact, we're all kind of in this mess together. Like everybody goes through shit, you're not the only one, and we can kind of share this collective support, kind of, if you kind of can conceptualize it that way, and not just feel, woe is me. That's when you get depressed, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dino, anything you practice, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up.
Yeah, no, definitely just being able to, I think, figure out how to eat better, time manage better, make sure I'm
Oh,
doing stuff I enjoy. It doesn't matter like if it's an hour, 2 hours, just making sure that I'm getting that in every day. I also got back into Gundam too. Like when I was a kid, I was really into it, and
all
now
right.
I'm just like nerding out, and I'm having the best time.
You like kind of let it go. You let it go like Gundam.
What's that?
You let it go.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I think once I don't know, it was something I used to do with my brother, so I kind of just picked up because I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I was like someone injured. I was like having these recurring injuries in my knee and stuff like that. So I was like, ah, man, I'm just gonna give it a break. So I wasn't breaking for like a good year. So that's kind of the year I started getting into like Gundam and drawing again, and
Oh, okay.
it was like, but like you mentioned earlier, it's like doing other stuff. It kind of just helps, like it kind of helps bring new
Mhm.
layers to your dance. So I was like, I started getting more different like ideas of, oh, what if I apply this kind of like concept or type thing? Just kind of
Right.
playing with it, just having
Yeah.
fun, really.
That's
Yeah,
good,
but
man.
diet, breaking more often, and Gundam. That's like, and having family and having a cat. Like,
There you go. Oh, that's
Yeah.
like diet.
what? Yo, it's weird, man, but having a cat actually um helps us sleep better in a way, like because of we started following their sleeping routines and like
Really? Oh,
their
okay.
wake up routines. So it's kind of weird that they're on top of it. They're like they wake us up, and
All
it's
right.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's funny. I'm like, yeah, diet. What's that? Just kidding. No, I try. I try. I'm trying.
I'm allergic.
The sugar thing is very difficult.
For
Very
sure.
difficult for me. That's the biggest thing. Like if there's anything that I'll give up, whatever. But sugar, oh,
Mhm.
give it. I need sugar. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, yo, so this has been the trades, breaking and mental health. Man, thank you so much, guys. This has been really good, really informative, and I hope people like I'll be making little shorts out of this and stuff like that. But I think it's really helpful that people see that people in the breaking community do care about like not just like the judges like and this guy doesn't deserve it or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
this is more of an important topic. Before we wrap it up, Dino, let us know your social media where they can find you. Like right there. What are you talking about? It's right there, profile. Is that
Oh
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. That
Dot
Oh
a yeah.
yeah. Also, Cypher State. We post a lot of events there and like workshops, stuff like that.
Okay.
For sure.
Dope. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Follow Dino Rock. Uh tell us where they can find you.
You can find me at Heat Rock One, HeatrockOne, and my other one is my visual art page, which is my real name is IVAN, and then COF as in Frank, IELD, and you can find me on either of those two social medias on Instagram, and then my website at ivancofield.com.
Oh word, dope. You have a website. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe at Zeshin HK.
Yeah, he had a YouTube voice. He was like, "Hi guys." Wait, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
All right. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram, PROFO_FLGZ. And you could, of course, click like and subscribe right here on the Pro for One channel.
About
No,
to
you gotta
say,
do it.
this is how you smash that like button, smash that subscribe. Yo, like,
hey,
and I'll use words like lit and just no cap, blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah, whatever. Gen Z,
gotta stay hip.
yeah.
Gotta stay
yeah,
hip.
that,
If I get 5,000 likes, my next video, nah, nah, I'm
5,000. My next video,
joking.
I'll give psychiatric help.
I'll give I'll give one person free
Oh shoot!
60-minute
There,
therapy session.
yo, that's some
Yeah, right.
IG shit. Right there, that's some IG shit. Like, follow me and I'll give you whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you like half of my moves.
Oh shit! There you go. Boom,
Ah,
like that.
that ain't even worth it.
He's
That's not
like, he
even
doesn't show up to
worth it.
events no more, so you could use it. Just kidding. And
Oh
then
my
get on
god.
biting base. Yeah. Anyway,
I was about to say, I don't think they, even if you gave them the moves, Zesh, I don't think they could ever use them. They're just way too unique, bro.
there you go.
Can't
Like
do
that,
it.
bro. Like
That's
that.
a nice way to say your
No, I'm
moves look
serious. You could
fucking.
never. All right, it's like there's certain like breakers that are out there, certain dancers that are out there. When someone does it, you know it. Right?
Right.
There's just
Yeah.
a few, but there's a few that they're like, oh, they stole that move, and that move just looks so similar to every other move that people can
Mm,
get away with it. We know it's their move. Like, wait, that was so and so's, but we get how it just we overlooked it. But there's just some people they just move a certain. You just can't. I don't think you could
right.
ever
Mhm.
get anybody any of your work and anyone not know like that's Zeshin.
There you go, man.
Thank you, man. Much
Yeah.
love,
There you
brother.
go,
Much
man.
love. Yeah, let's do another episode where we can just talk breaking
Okay.
shit next time.
Fuck this mental health shit.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could talk about
biters.
how
Yeah.
we could talk about
Ain't nobody got no
we
their own.
could talk about
Nobody
how
got
I
no
smoked each and
style.
every one of y'all.
Damn.
Oh.
Uh oh.
Look at their
Made me
faces.
come out of
Look at their
Hey,
retirement
you
now.
know what? I'm okay with it. I'll admit it.
I have one.
I'll admit
I have
my
one question,
smokes.
but
Zash has smoked me. Dino has smoked me. Everyone on this
no.
panel has smoked
Yeah,
me.
really is.
Everybody's on this panel smoked me too.
You
I.
know what I'm saying?
Zeshin got me once.
Dino's one who got me. I was this
Oh
close to getting
man,
that
no
shit.
man.
See? See?
Oh,
See?
that was
See?
a.
I was this
That was
close, my friend, and then he said, "Nope."
See?
What can I do?
See?
I was like, you don't need two rings, bro. Like,
Hey, see, look how, look at all our mental health right now. We're very healthy. We can laugh at ourselves.
yeah.
This guy.
No, man. But I think, well, that goes back to what we're saying. I think we're all in that space where we just like it's all fun.
Yeah, I think
We all
so. I
we
think,
recognize each other's skills. We recognize everybody's style and how those styles vary, and that
mm,
every dog has its day. And it's not this
mm-hmm,
thing like, "Ugh," like, well, if I was just, it was. It's not like that. It's like, okay, me and Elmo lost to Dino and Doom recently.
right,
You
right.
know, me and
Dope
Elmo.
battle, by the way.
Oh,
Dope
that was.
That's
battle.
right. That's right. That was at your event.
Yeah, dope
Totally
battle.
forgot
Which
Oh
is
man,
about
that
that.
happening.
battle was.
Yeah,
Oh man, that
Yeah,
was so
man.
crazy fun.
dude, that
No,
was
that
fire.
was no, no. It was good. I battled Zeshin. I think I battled you maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
One took one, lost one, and then the third was a crew battle and lost then.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Profo, I battled you, I
40
believe,
up battle.
twice.
Yeah, the
Huh?
40 up battle.
No,
The
but we
recent one.
battled twice.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
recently was the 40 and up.
That shit was fire,
Yeah.
bro. That shit was fire. I had a
I'd
good
do it
time.
all over again.
I was
Do it
happy.
all
I was just like, yo, I had a good battle, and I'm done. Tight. Like that's how
over.
I felt. Like that battle was dope. Cool. All right, I'm out. Like I was
Yeah, man.
happy.
In
Yeah,
and out.
man.
I mean,
There you go. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Again, you're
yes.
watching the trades. Again, breaking in mental health. I hope everyone had a good time. I want to say peace and stay on, guys, a little bit after. Peace.
Peace.
And I'll see you guys later, man. All right.
Boom.